Hello, 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 greetings. Once again, I am TheFish, and I'm here to bring you guys another awesome StarCraft 2 replay. And we've got another really good one here. It's going to be the same two players that I featured in my last replay. Spawning in the top left corner, we have none other than Liquid HerO, and in the bottom right, we have IMNestea. Nestea, of course, playing as Zerg and HerO Protoss. And if you don't know who either of these guys are, again, Nestea is one of the very top Korean Zerg players out there, and he's just, overall a really good player. People are always watching him. He was in Code S for a really long time, and he's one of the, I guess you could say, grandfathers of Zerg, and he's really pioneered a lot of the strategies we see people using. And of course, Liquid HerO, I'm a huge fan of his. He plays, of course, for Team Liquid, and he's involved a lot with the foreigner scene, so you'll see him quite often. Hopefully we'll get to see him a lot more often. And some big news for HerO this week: he actually qualified for Code S, so congratulations to HerO. Nestea, of course, already has played in Code S, so we see Nestea opening up with a spawning pool around 13, so looks like that's going to be pretty standard. No 6 pool openings this game for Nestea, and HerO's going to be going for the Forge Fast Expand. So very standard Protoss versus Zerg play right here. We see HerO throwing down this pylon. This is, of course, to block the natural hatchery for Nestea, and we'll have to see if HerO, he looks like he's probably going to be going for that Nexus before Cannon, although I'm not really sure what he's going to be doing. That's always an interesting thing. I like watching the pro Protoss and Terran players play, because I normally play as Zerg in one-on-ones. And one interesting bit here, it looks like Nestea is going to be getting out 2 Zerglings to try and deal with this pylon and get it down. And he's going to be... This is something that I do. Actually, I do the extractor trick on 17 to try and get this queen out a little bit faster. So, meanwhile, back at HerO's base, he knows that there aren't any Zerglings coming for him yet, so he decided to throw down that Nexus first before getting a cannon. And little things like that can really help you get an edge in these matchups. There was no reason for HerO to really try and wall off, because he knew that Nestea didn't have his Zerglings out. Now we have 6 Zerglings out for Nestea, so we might see HerO start to think about working on that wall. And yeah, there we have a gateway coming down, and the photon cannon's going to be almost finished, so I don't see these 6 Zerglings really doing much of anything. Another thing that HerO decided to do was to throw down a blocking pylon at the gold base, and of course, since this was played on ladder, this is a gold base, unlike in most tournaments where you'll see these as regular mineral fields. And Nestea going to be going for a very fast third hatchery, and I like this decision making by Nestea. It's something that I've seen Cats do, and it's also something that I've seen Stefano do on this map, Antiga Shipyard, where you actually throw down this base. I've seen some players even take it as their natural or their second base. What's risky about it, of course, is that you're expanding towards your opponent, and this base is kind of tough to defend. If you don't have map control, it's almost impossible. So HerO's going to see this, and he's going to be throwing down a pylon here. I'm not sure exactly what he's going to be trying to do. It looks like he's probably going to be going for a cannon rush against this base, so we'll have to see what Nestea does about it. I don't know if he sees these. He does not see that. So a bit of a blunder here by Nestea, not having an Overlord here to spot for this hatchery. The queen's going to be coming over, but will these photon cannons get up in time? And now he sees the pylons, and he's sending his Zerglings over to try and deal with this, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Will HerO have to cancel this? It looks like he does. He looks like he will actually have to cancel this, and he's going to lose another pylon. So lucky for Nestea that he actually spotted that there. And now HerO might be in a little bit of trouble. He's going to be going up against a 3-base Zerg who's got a gold base as one of his bases. So we'll have to see what HerO wants to do in this situation. And it looks like he's already started +1 weapons, And he's got that warp gate researching, but he's not chrono boosting it. He's probably using his chrono boost on probes. Speaking of which, let's check the income tab as we watch the Stalker try to harass NestEa's base. And it looks like both players are exactly even at this point in the game, and that's pretty interesting. This Stalker picking off a few Zerglings before now running and heading back to base. Once the Zealot meets up, it's going to be game over for these Zerglings. So, but you're going to start to see NestEa really pull ahead in economy pretty quickly. HerO wisely dropping a few pylons at this base. It could be a great launching point for a 6-gate or something of that nature. Now HerO's coming in. He's going to try and pick off this queen here. He's doing some really good micro to try and get this guy down. He's gonna get a drone, 2 drones, 3 drones in exchange for a Zealot. So nice little trade by HerO. And it's also, of course, forcing NestEa into getting a few more Zerglings and a Spine Crawler, something that maybe he didn't want to do. So HerO basically doing everything he can at the moment to try and limit the explosive economy of NestEa. And NestEa doesn't even have Zergling speed yet. It's just now almost done at the 8.5 minute mark. So very, very economical builds. And this map, Antiga Shipyard, I'm not a huge fan of it, mostly because I play Zerg. If you get a planetary fortress at this base and some more nice harassment by HerO, if a Terran gets a planetary fortress at this base, it's really hard to deal with as a Zerg player. You basically need Broodlords or Ultralisks to take it out, and it just gives it can give a really tough advantage to a Terran player. But in this matchup, it's a little more fun, Antiga Shipyard. So anyway, back to the game at hand here. HerO coming in with a couple Zealots. It looks like he might be trying to snipe some tech. Maybe he'll be going for this hatchery. And NestEa looks like he was going for those pylons, but now he's going to be forced to run back home and deal with these. And these Zealots are +1, so they're going to really take out all these Zerglings, I think. I don't know if NestEa's going to be able to take out these Zealots using just the Zerglings here. And really good micro by HerO, and he manages to kill every single one of those Zerglings. And now he's going to actually turn around with these Zealots. Only 4 health on this one, 36 on the other one. And he's got now 4 more Zealots to try and deal with this. He's going to pick off a creep tumor and then probably head back home. Meanwhile, we see back at his base, HerO's got Blink finishing up, and he's got a Nexus coming down at his 3rd base, so he's going to be trying to catch up in terms of economy. NestEa's Overlord is here. Wouldn't be surprised to see that getting sacrificed pretty soon to try and see what's going on in HerO's main base. Meanwhile, some more harassment going down for HerO. He's all over the map right now with these pylons and the harassment. NestEa did spot one of the pylons over here, but there's still a second one that NestEa did not find. So a whole bunch of stuff going on in this game so far, and it's been really, really interesting. Now it looks like NestEa is going to be switching into Roach Muta. I think that's the build that he's going for, although I'm not sure. There's a Spire going down. He's got Roach speed on the way and armor on the way. So usually that's a pretty cool build against. It's a pretty cool build against Protoss, because you can use the roaches to sort of tank a lot of damage, and then use the and they're a bit slower. You can use this force to take damage, and this force is good against a Stalker build, or a Stalker heavy army, I should say. And you can use the Mutos to kind of harass and force the Protoss into weird positioning that maybe they didn't want to be in. HerO has a ton of sentries here, which I think is pretty smart. NestEa looks like he wants to put some pressure onto this 3rd base, and this is a pretty good attack. I like what he's trying to do here. He's not letting these units go to waste. He's going to take down this destructible rocks, and then he's going to be moving into position. He splits up his army though, and I think NestEa, he must have like moved there, went with his camera to do something else, and then realized that his army was getting split in half here, and realized that he needed to fall back. HerO, of course, is all over this. Again, NestEa now trying to split up HerO's army and get a flank on him. Both of these players trying to vie for good positioning. But I don't know. I think NestEa needs to be careful. He doesn't really want to lose all these units. And yeah, with those force fields, that's exactly what might happen. And of course, 10 Mutalisks are on the way for NestEa, so that's a lot of investment in units that has yet to be realized. Now NestEa going for the surround, but really good force fields are going to prevent these roaches from getting into any kind of position. Still, a Ling's doing some damage to these Stalkers, and it looks like both players are just going to fall back to base. So NestEa now, his 4th base is up. and his economy is really starting to get out of control. He's got a ton of Mutalisks, 9 more Mutalisks in addition to this number on the way. He's got upgrades coming down for his roaches and his Mutalisks, so it looks like HerO is feeling the pressure, and he might want to come in and try to do some more damage here, being a little bit indecisive. And now that Mutalisks are coming into HerO's main, and they're going to be able to take out a ton of probes. And what is HerO going to do? He's going to fall back to base with his main army to try and deal with this, but that of course is going to allow IMNestea to get into position. And wisely HerO blinking in only with a few stalkers. Meanwhile, IMNestea moving in to see if he could catch HerO out of position, but HerO wisely keeping most of his units at the front door. So a wise decision by HerO not to overreact to that attack. Is going to keep this game going for a while, but IMNestea, he's basically maxed out at this point, and this ball of Mutalisk is getting pretty scary. Now, I don't know who wins this game, because I actually have not seen it before, but right now it looks like IMNestea is ahead. Both players are actually supply blocked at this moment. And HerO putting on a little fake pressure, clearing out some of those creep tumors. You don't want creep to be starting to head into your base there, because that could be bad. And IMNestea's going to be coming back in. Now cannon is going to be finished, but it's not going to be quite enough to deal with all of these. And Stalker's moving in to try and kill these Mutalisks, but I think the Mutalisks are going to win this fight here. The Mutalisk ball is getting whittled away at the cost of some Stalkers, and HerO's supply is actually dropping because of this. But nice blink micro is going to save a couple of those, and it's actually going to force IMNestea to fall back there. So good control from HerO, and again, he's not really taking the bait. IMNestea's trying to get him out of position. He's trying to bait him into doing things that'll make him lose this game, and HerO's just not falling for it. So neither player is really looking to commit yet to an all-out attack, but the game is going to continue, and wow, there's a lot of Mutalisks. +2 attacks for Mutalisks and for roaches on the way for IMNestea, as well as burrowed movement for roaches. And on the production tab for HerO, we see Dark Templars and Psionic Storm. And man, I don't know if HerO's really got any answer to these, although a lot of Stalkers in good position now to try and deal with this. What you want to do is exactly what HerO's doing, is spread your Stalkers out. Don't clump them up underneath. The last thing you want is to have them clumped up against underneath all the Mutalisks. So IMNestea losing a lot of Mutalisks there, and he's going to continue to do harassment, but he's going to be pursued and chased down by these Stalkers. So while HerO did lose some probes there, and he did lose a lot of Stalkers, I think that he's actually going to kind of come out ahead in that engagement, but HerO, of course, still only on 3 bases to IMNestea's 4, and that could be problematic. Now it looks like IMNestea wants to maybe push in for an attack here. He's going to run right into a wall, and that storm is finished. So I don't know if it's the best idea for IMNestea to be moving in. Here we go. He's moving in with all of his units. A ton of Zerglings, but great force fields are going to keep most of those roaches out. And it looks like HerO is going to pull this off pretty easily. Although he does need to get some more units out. I would like to see him spend some of that money. I'm not really sure what he's waiting for. And these Dark Templars are not going to be very effective. He might want to turn those into Archons. He's going to get 1 to run away, so that might be a little bit of an annoyance in the future for IMNestea. Meanwhile, IMNestea looks like he's going to try to move in here again, but a show of force by HerO is going to force him to retreat. Now, it looks like IMNestea is actually almost mined out of these minerals, but look at how much money he has saved up. Almost 5,000 minerals. Wow, man. Well, it's pretty good for a Zerg player to have that much minerals, but it's not as good as if it were for like a Terran player, because really all you can do with minerals are Spine Crawlers, Zealots, Spine Crawlers, Zerglings, and Drones, and those have limited uses. Looks like HerO's just going to take out a whole bunch of probes here for free, basically. And meanwhile, IMNestea is still harassing with these. This is a huge number of Mutalisks, man. Don't know how HerO is going to deal with this. He's going for the Twilight Council. It's going to fall almost immediately, and these Mutalisks are just going to do so much damage. But a large group of stalkers now moving in to try and deal with this. And we're going to see a show of either Blink Micro. Well, maybe not. It looks like IMNestea is actually going to back out there. Trading Mutilisks for stalkers is not the way to go. Like I was saying before, IMNestea's got about 5,000 minerals, but what's going to hold him back in the late game is gas. As a Zerg player, you need gas to get out Broodlords, to get out Ultralisks, to get out Mutilisks. And wow, he's actually going to back off there. So these stalkers are doing pretty good damage against the Mutilisks. Both of these units, though, are unupgraded in terms of armor, so that might make it a little bit tough. It looks like IMNestea wants to really force his way in here. He doesn't want here to get too much tech on him. Boy, some great storms, and it looks like all these roaches are going to go down basically for free. IMNestea replacing them with 11 roaches, and he's going up to hive tech, so we may be seeing tier 3 units out of the Zerg player very soon. Great storm on all these Mutilisks, and they're all going to take a ton of damage. But how much damage will they do to HerO's main base before these stalkers get back into position to deal with this? And it looks like, well, they didn't take out the Nexus or anything. Photon Cannon is being reconstructed, so really the only thing he lost was the Twilight Council, and I don't really think that he needs that anymore since he has his Templar facilities already up. So, anyway, that's actually a question. I don't know. I guess he still can get level... He can't get level 2... You can get level 2 upgrades? I don't know. I think you need a Twilight Council to get level 2 upgrades. HerO might need to rebuild that building, but I'm not too sure about that one. I've never had a game where I was playing as Protoss and I lost only my Twilight Council. Anyway, IMNestea moving in with this ball of Mutilisks again, and those stalkers are going to blink up right away. And since these guys are mostly on low health, you know, they have less than 100 hit points, and you know, 13 damage. 13 damage against these guys per hit is kind of a lot. IMNestea again moving in here with some roaches, and great storms are going to really do a lot of damage, but that is a lot of roaches. And it looks like they are going to die to these stalkers, but it's really, these roaches are really not worth all that much to IMNestea. He's got so much minerals banked up, although he looks like he's determined to throw it all away at this point. 5th base now starting to get worked on for IMNestea. And of course the Greater Spire just about to finish. Adrenal glands on the way. Missile attacks level 3, armor level 3. So the Zerg army is going to be really, really scary really soon. And HerO, I think, knows that. But if you look, the supply counts have evened up, and the mineral counts have kind of evened up. So now IMNestea's kind of mined out here, and looks like HerO wants to establish a 4th base. Now that he's basically on one mining base at this point, his natural is almost completely not mined out. Actually, his main is not, which is actually kind of funny. But anyway, we do see 7 Broodlords on the production tab for IMNestea. I'm wondering where he put them. Where are your Broodlords, IMNestea? I guess they're in a safe place somewhere. Here we go, right at the main. 7, looks like about 11 Broodlords. So tier 3 units on the way. We might be seeing some really epic battles this game. It's been a really good one so far, with neither player really making any severe mistakes. I gotta say, this is about the highest level of Zerg versus Protoss you're ever gonna see. And what's peculiar about this game is the map, Antiga Shipyard. Like I was saying before, it's not really my favorite map, simply because of this gold base, but with the regular base in the middle, it becomes a little bit more viable. Anyway, we've got Broodlords moving into position here. They're undefended though, so if these stalkers were to find out about this and blink into position, it could be bad. But now some roaches are coming in to try and defend this attack, and High Templar are getting put out of position. They're going to throw down a couple storms, but HerO throwing away a couple High Templar there, not really the best of plans. And meanwhile, the Broodlords are going to be starting to siege up on this base. ST is actually going to be splitting up his Broodlord force because he now knows that this base is here. So we're going to have a very large battle going on in the middle here. HerO working with nothing but stalkers, which I don't think it's going to work very well. Nice storm going down, but IMNestea using his spidey senses. His spidey senses were tingling to move his units out of the way there just at the last second. More High Templar are coming in, but immediately getting picked off. And HerO, you've got to keep those units alive. You can't win this game with nothing but stalkers. Now he's blinking in position, but Mutila's coming in. Great storm going down. All the Mutas taking a ton of damage. They're going to pursue these stalkers. But it looks like all these Mutas are actually going to go down at the cost of a bunch of stalkers. IMNestea pursuing. He really wants to get his base taken out, and it looks like he will be able to do so. Fourth base for HerO going down, and now IMNestea is trying to come in to take out these stalkers. Some really good blink micro is going to keep these guys alive, but the supply counts are really looking different now, and HerO is on very few minerals. I don't know how he can really come back from this one at this point. IMNestea now moving in with a huge amount of roaches, 3/3 upgrades, and 2/0 broodlords. HerO using Dark Templar to try and come back, but I don't think HerO can come back from this one. But of course, if there's anybody who could do it, it's Liquid HerO. More Dark Templars being warped in to try and put some damage onto these roaches, and that could be a good way to do this. Nothing but micro. Meanwhile, though, HerO's third base is being besieged up even more by these broodlords. And what is HerO going to do about this? He's going to blink in. He's going to try and take out all these broodlords, but it looks like HerO is going to have to fall back. HerO now retreating back into his main, and it looks like this game is pretty much over, guys. So I gotta say that I really don't like the gold bases on this map. So if any Blizzard employees are watching, please put the MLG version or the GSL version of this map into play, because IMNestea was able to really take that third base and get a huge economical advantage. And if you look right now, IMNestea's got no more money left, but it didn't matter just because he was able to get so many more. He was able to get so much more money. Having 5,000 minerals banked at that point in the game is really quite good. HerO microing his last two stalkers now, but there's just way too many roaches. Dark Templar's continuing to do work, but a new hit squad of infestors and roaches is going to be coming in, and he's going to catch these stalkers, and it looks like that's going to be it. So it's a good game from HerO, and yeah, it was a pretty good game, but again, the map Antiga Shipyard I think really contributed to the loss here by HerO. Another thing I would say that really didn't help him out was his tech choice. He only had high Templars as a high level tech. Never had any robo bays, but yeah, good game. If he hadn't lost all those high Templars in the middle, it might have been a little bit of a different story. So a little uncharacteristic blunder by HerO, but a good game. And anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm going to be putting up a couple more HerO videos in the near future, so we can watch his awesome playstyle. Thanks for watching.